Oh, congratulations once again to the Leopard for qualifying for the World Cup. We are not gonna dispute that. They gave their best and finally we are qualified. So after the party, after the celebrations in Kinshasa, I'm sure by now most of our players are back to the main team. And we are just gonna talk today about two main things. The first one it's gonna be about the upcoming friendly game of the DRC, and we're gonna talk about the binational players that might join the team in the coming months, if not weeks to come. Because let's be honest, June is just around the corner. We are already heading towards half of April, and May is not that far, and the World Cup is in June. So it's only a few weeks to go until everybody's focus is back on the national team. So, as I said, the national team is preparing. It's preparing for the upcoming World Cup, and they are already thinking of what type of friendly games they should go on to test themselves and be more ready for the upcoming World Cup game. So some people don't really know how does a national team select its opponents. So I'm gonna go back to the basic and try to explain exactly how does a national team select its opponent when it comes to such competition. So for example, in a group of for group C, we have Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and then Scotland. Now, typically what happens is let's take Brazil, right? So Brazil's gonna look around and say, which African team can we face that has more or less the same level of as Morocco when it comes to football, or can beat Morocco or can challenge Morocco in terms of football if they were playing a football match. So that's gonna help Brazil to have an idea of how Africans play their football and what they can expect from a team like Morocco, because if that particular African team has played Morocco before and they have probably challenged Morocco in one game or in one game or another, that may give Brazil an idea how Morocco will move when Brazil faces Morocco in the upcoming World Cup. So, and then they will go ahead and look at Haiti. Haiti is in CONCACAF, that's his Caribbean federations of football. So they will go and select another team within that same region, probably Jamaica or New Caledonia, to try to test their skills with one of the teams in the area, and then also study and understand how teams of that particular regions play the football. They will do the same thing with an European team, which they have done already, because in the past few weeks, Brazil played against France. Of course, they lost 2-0, but I'm sure that gave them an idea as to what to expect against countries like Scotland once Brazil faces Scotland in the World Cup. So that's exactly how countries go ahead and select their friendly games or the friendly opponents for the friendly games. So when it comes to the DRC, we're in Group K. That's DRC, Portugal, Azerbaijan, and Colombia. So the DRC will look around in the European continent and say, okay, let's face a country probably like Germany, a country like Spain, or probably France, because those are countries that will also play with an African team, or probably England, because England will face Ghana in its group stage. So they will look for one of those teams in Europe that will be competing with another African team so that they can test their skill in terms of match strategy, in terms of tactic, and see how that will go on. They will do the same thing again with a team in Asia, because we are playing against Azerbaijan. Sorry, the pronunciation of the word. We are playing against Azerbaijan, so they will try to find out what team can we play against that has more or less the same level of game as Azerbaijan. And also we'll try to find out another team in South America to try to see which team in South America can give us that vibe that Colombia has, that Colombian plays, Colombia style, so that we can know how to counter that to actually win Colombia in the upcoming game. And we did the same thing actually in our World Cup qualifiers. We played against New Caledonia. That was not just I don't know, a choice made for the sake of making a choice, but the choice of choosing a team like New Caledonia. No, I think we played against Bermuda. Sorry, we played against Bermuda. The reason why we chose Bermuda is because they are part of that region. They play with Jamaica, and they've played with New Caledonia. They've played with those teams before. So we were like, if we can play against Bermuda and actually win the game, and learn how the teams in the Caribbean areas play. That will give us a very good idea on how to confront our next opponent, which in that case was Jamaica. And that's helped us a lot in our strategies and how the coach applied his tactics in the particular game. So some of the teams that people are saying the DRC might actually encounter in the upcoming friendly games window will be England is one of them. France is one of them. England, because in the team with England, there's Ghana. Ghana is there. So England would love to play an African team to understand how Africans play and what they can expect in terms of games when it comes to the upcoming World Cup. Another team that people are saying the DRC might go against to be France. Why? Because France in Group I and within that group you do find Senegal. So France is a team that the DRC might be going against in the friendly. We're not yet sure, but we'll see how things goes. Another team against Argentina, because Argentina has Algeria within the same group, and we just played with Algeria in the AFCON recently, and we went all the way to extra time with Algeria. So Argentina might be looking around and saying, the next team that we should play should be the DRC Congo, because the DRC has played with Argentina before and they have challenged Argentina to a certain level. So they might be looking at coming face us, and so that they can have an idea exactly how to move forward. Will it be Spain? Spain in the group of Spain. Spain is in Group H. In the Group H, we have Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. So one of those teams might want to face us because they'll be like, okay, we want to face DRC because Cape Verde is an African country. And actually, Group H, we might face Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia, most probably, I'm not sure if they play around with Uzbekistan, because that's one of the teams that we're going to face. So playing against Saudi Arabia will not be such a bad thing for us. In Group G, will it be against Belgium? Because Belgium is a French team. It's an European team, and we will be playing against an European country in the upcoming weeks, known as Portugal. So understanding how Portugal's play as an European team and playing with a team like Belgium, which has more or less the same qualities as Portugal, will be really, really, really great. So those are the type of things that most of the teams look at when it comes to selecting their friendly opponents for the upcoming friendly game and preparation for the World Cup. And the upcoming games will take place in June, so early June, between the 1st and the 9th, so that the teams can get ready and already move towards the World Cup competition. I think by the 11th, if not during that week, most of the team will be in the camps or in their respective countries where they have to play their first game. So our first game, as most of you guys know, will be against Portugal in Houston. And by the way, the ticket sales are just going crazy. At this point in time, when I checked, they said the most expensive ticket is going around 50,000 US dollars. Yeah, I know that's very pricey. I don't think most people can afford it, but it would be great if one or many people, especially Congolese people, if we can find tickets in one way or the other to attend that game and support our boys. So we'll move to our next topic, which is the new players that will be added in the group. Now, I'll be very honest and frank with you guys, right? Most people want to behave and act like we do not really understand how our coach does his things. Sebastian Desabre is not the type of coach that brings in multiple players at the same time. We have asked him to do that before, and we know that he's gonna say no, right? So it's more or less, I should say, a bit useless to kind of think that he's gonna bring so many players. But either way, let me just read throughout. So at this point in time, there are names that are going around the internet, and some of the names are Seni Mayulu, sorry, and then we have Ezekiel Banzozi, and then we have Anthony Milambo, we have Dylan Bakwa, we have Adi Bishibu, we have Sahil Kabudi, we have Samuel Bangula. So those are some of the names that are just flying around. People are saying those are the new players that will join the DRC national team. Now, given, when it comes to players like Ezekiel Banzuzi, with him, I would say 60-40 because his name was already on the previous list of the under 23 players for the DRC. So I will not be surprised actually if he's selected to play in the national team because he has the skills and he has abilities and he plays already in the big team in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. So the fact that they already that sign of him being part of the under 23 national team, I am not surprised and will not be surprised if he's selected to play in the upcoming friendly games. Now, when it comes to players like Seni Mayulu, I would love to see him, honestly speaking. But then again, these players, some of them, if not most of them, are still thinking that they have a chance to play in Belgium or France, and we cannot really blame them. They're still very young and they are very talented, and they're looking at both sides, which one will be good for their future. You know, as most of the players of the national team, like Sadiki and others, usually say, if you're gonna come to play for the DRC, you have to come with your heart because it's not gonna be easy. It's not always gonna be joyful. We are all not always going to be winning. There will not always be celebrations. So they have to be prepared for that mentally. So when they join the national team, they have to come in full force to play for everything that they really can give to the national team. But with these players join, we are not sure. We are sitting back and waiting. But as far as I know, De Sabre does not bring in many players at once. He like his team, he like his players, he like where it is right now. So you also have to look at the fact that some of these players, you must find a spot for them. Where are you gonna put them? Right? What are you going to remove? What are you going to leave? What are you going to change with? So, for example, if we look at our strikers, we have Wissa, Bakambu, Mayele, I believe Mboku also, and Mishak, right? So, and Teo. If we also add Teo on the list, we also add Dianganda on the list, and also we may add Chipenda on the list, even though that's debatable. But then again, what are you going to leave in that particular group? Right? Who are you going to leave out and who are you going to bring in as a new player? Do we need these players? I strongly believe yes, because on our when it comes to strikers, we are struggling. That's just the truth. We don't score many goals, and that's a serious issue. So how are we going to do that? Is by bringing in new players. Somebody like Mayulu can definitely help us. Somebody like Kalimuendo can definitely help us. But are they gonna come in? We are not sure. That's something we are going to see in the upcoming weeks. But hopefully the players come in. But what we are reading so far cannot show, should I say, is that we have at least 3 new players that will be joining the national team. Who are there? We do not know. I think in the next few weeks we should have a very good idea as to who are these players that will be joining the national team. And also, as you know, the national team does not communicate the name. They don't tell us which player or that player wanted to come and so on and so forth. So we can only speculate as to which player has decided to join the team officially. So I think the coach has a lot of excess players that he can bring in, but at the same time the question is, will he be able to leave out some of these players, right? Will he take out for, if you look at in the midfield, for example, in the midfield, most of the time we have Sadiki, we have Mutusami, and then we have this new player, I forgot his name, Mukau, and sometimes we have Piquel. But Piquel has not been performing as he used to. You know, this is not the Piquel we have known in 2023, you know, but will he leave Piquel and bring somebody else? We are not sure, right? And let's not forget that Strokens is also a player that we were expecting to see in the AFCON, but he was not there, so we did not get to see his best. So we have not yet seen Strokens on the field, how he can perform and how we can judge him. So at this point around, everybody really has a chance to be on the list, if you ask me. But who's gonna be on it? We do not know. Which player is gonna be left out? We do not know. All we can say is that the coach is getting ready for the upcoming friendly games, and for sure he's gonna put the list forward. And I'm 1,000% sure that we will be playing with one of the European team. Now, will it be Belgium? We're not sure. Will it be France? Maybe. It might be England. It might be Germany. All these are just options that the DRC has to prepare for the upcoming World Cup. So that being said, thank you. Please subscribe to our page. That's how you support us. That's how we keep moving forward. If you keep on subscribing to our pages and sharing our comments and our videos. That would be great. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to our page and to our show. See you next time.